Hello students. Today we are going to start with the new chapter, Cell, the Basic Unit of Life. So today's quote is, be like the stem cell, differentiate yourselves from others. So what does a stem cell do and what is a stem cell? Stem cell is a cell which has got capacity to form different type of cells. Say for example, we have got the bone marrow cells which have got a property to differentiate into different type of blood cells. So this is what is the quote for the day, that you children should become like a stem cell so that you can differentiate yourselves from others, so that you live distinct from others. Okay, so now what's the learning objective for the day? What are we going to study today? To enable to understand the definition of cell and history of cell. Then to enable to understand the cell theory, we are going to understand the definition of cell. We will understand the history of discovery of cell. Then we are going to understand the cell theory. Thereafter, we will see the classification of cell based on the number of cells present in an organism, the size of the cells, the shape of the cell, and the complexity of the cell structure. Then the last thing which we are going to do in detail is the structure of a prokaryotic cell. So the cell actually is just like the bricks of a building. As a building is made up of bricks, the living organisms are also made up of small units which are known as cells. So actually what are cells now? The cells are the building blocks of our body. Cell is, if you go technically, cell is the structural and fundamental and functional unit of life or a living organism. So what does the cell do? The cells perform similar basic functions for their survival in all living organisms. So cells of our body, cells of a bacteria, cells of an elephant, or cell of any other organism, the basic function performed by any cell in any organism's body is similar. There are few cells which perform certain specialized functions also. Okay, so now, depending upon the number of cells present in the organisms, there are two types of organisms. First is the unicellular organisms and the next is multicellular organisms. So what are the unicellular organisms? The organisms which have got uni means one, cellular means cell. An organism whose body contains just a single cell. It doesn't have more than a single cell. Such type of organisms are known as unicellular organisms. Say for example, a chlamydomonas, an amoeba, a paramecium, a bacteria, etc. In the same way, the multicellular organisms, multi means several, cellular means cell. An organism having more number of cells, that those organisms are known as multicellular organisms. Say for example, we human beings. Okay, for example, all the plants existing around us, we all are multicellular organisms. You can see in the figure also a unicellular organism. The diagram of amoeba is given out there, and the multicellular organism, you can see so many animals including we human beings also, and all the plants. Now let us see what about the discovery of the cell. How was the cell discovered? So it was in 1665, way back, you imagine. In 1665, a scientist known as Robert Hooke, he actually discovered the cell. He was an English scientist from Britain, and he saw the first cell which was a dead cell. He never saw a live cell, a living cell. He saw the first dead cell, and that dead cell was the cell of cork. Now what is cork? Cork is actually the outer covering of the old stems of plant, that is the bark of the tree. It is known as cork, and the first cell which was observed by Robert Hooke was the cork cell. Okay, so just because it was a dead cell, it had no living matter, there was no protoplasm in that, there was no nucleus in that. So what would Robert Hooke visualize? He could only see few compartments there. There were small compartments present in the structure of the bark, and that is why Robert Hooke gave the name cell. Okay, you can see well in the presentation here the microscope which was used by Robert Hooke, and you can also see the small cells of the bark which was visualized by Robert Hooke. Now, the next was 1674, again a landmark event which took place and which was undertaken by Anton von Leeuwenhoek. He discovered for the first time the compound microscope, a device by which the organisms could be visualized and their structures could be magnified and seen. And it was Leeuwenhoek for the first time who observed a live cell, a living cell. And then in 1831, it was Robert Brown who discovered and named the nucleus in the cell. The nucleus of the cell was discovered by Robert Brown, and in 1838 to 1839, it was Schleiden and Schwann who formulated the cell theory. The Schleiden was actually a botanist. He discovered, or he gave the cell theory in context to a plant cell, while Schwann, being a zoologist, he for the first time observed animal cell and he gave the cell theory pertaining to the animals. And then there was another scientist in 1855. It was Rudolf Virchow who gave a statement, omnis cellula e cellula, which is a statement which means a cell arises from a pre-existing cell. The cells, they are formed from a cell which is already existing. Then it was 1839, Purkinje was the scientist who for the first time gave the living matter of the cell known as protoplasm.